Hi Aries, welcome to your October 2020 reading. My name is Gem or Gemstone, I go by either, and I will be doing your reading. I want to, address the elephant in the room that October is almost finished, and this gives me the perfect opportunity to talk about how time is really a construct of this 3-dimension. But with that being said, it within this construct is fluid. And whenever you come across this, whether this is in March of 2060 and it resonates, please take it. It's all about resonance. So what we are going to do for today is I'm going to use this tarot deck here and shuffle it, get the theme of the month. It's going to be one card, and then probe with other tarot decks so that we can see what story is painting itself before our eyes for your month of October, Aries. All right, so we're going to begin. For me, everything is a process. So we are starting the shuffling process. How are you doing? Ooh. 10 of Swords as I ask how you're doing. So maybe some of you are feeling, and at the bottom of the deck was the 9 of Swords. Interesting. Maybe some of you are coming out of a frightened or triggered energy and moving towards some form of an ego death. Towards embracing love, embracing life. With the Empress. I shuffled this deck before, but I just want to give it a light shuffle. How are you doing, though? The Sun opposes your Sun, it being in Libra. Has Libra season been a good season for you? There was also that full moon in your sign on the 1st of October, which was when I started these readings. How was that for you? Not to mention Mars retrograde in Aries. And then also, so traditionally, Scorpio is ruled by Mars. And then in modern astrology, the ruler for Scorpio became Pluto. Some people look at Pluto as the main ruler for Scorpio, and then Mars the secondary, while others look at it in the opposite manner, where they have Pluto as the secondary ruler for Scorpio and Mars as the first ruler. I say all of that to say that Mercury is also retrograde, or not also, but Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio, and that has Mars energy. So how has that been treating you? How has that been treating you? I guess we'll find out. For the Aries energy that I connect with. What is the theme of the month for Aries? What is the theme of October for Aries? The theme of October for Aries. All messages are in their highest good. What is the theme of the month for Aries? What is the theme of the month? I have a throat chakra sound bath in the background. What is the theme of the month for Aries? Let's see. Oh, so Two of Cups is at the bottom of the deck, and your theme is the Four of Swords. What's interesting is when I was shuffling this deck before, this card kept coming out. So it was like foretelling your energy. Interesting. All right. And now we're going to probe. I do want to probe with, no, I want to probe with this deck. And at the bottom of the deck that I felt is the Eight of Cups. So maybe some of you have retreated into a form of solitude, which makes sense with, or it ties in, let me say, it ties in with the energy of Mars, your ruling planet, retrograde in your sign at home in Aries. So that works together. Oh, look, Four of Wands. Maybe some of you are at a state of peace because of a foundation that was built with a lover. And I say that looking at the Two of Cups right here. Or maybe this is where you want to get to, because at the moment you're not in that state. You're more in that Ten of Swords energy that we saw earlier. We're going to probe this Four of Swords and see what more can be added to this story. The Six of Cups. Ooh. And maybe during this retrograde, someone's coming back, some form of a confident feminine energy. All right, let's see. Please take what resonates. If it doesn't resonate, then maybe the story is not yours. Don't force it. We're just going to work with what works. If it resonates, perfect. If it doesn't, perfect. But we're going with what resonates. We're going to probe this Four of Pentacles. Oh, goodness gracious. This Four of Swords. The Four of Swords. And see what more can be added to the story for Aries. That sound bath is so relaxing. My goodness. All right, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun. Beautiful. All right, so to add to the story, we have the World. We have, let's move this over, the Hanged Man. We have Temperance. And we have the Knave of Wands. With the Sun. A lot of majors here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm getting is there's this cycle of completion. And so your peace, right, at this time comes from the ending of a cycle. And in this ending of this cycle, there was an aspect of yourself that was aware to your consciousness as well as actualized in some form. And because of that, it allowed you to shift your perspective to a new one, rebalance yourself so that you can start over, like start this process. Now, I don't want to say start over as in you're going to start this exact process again, but start something new, start a new process. Clarity is had here. There's a feeling of the clouds moving away from the sun, and now you can see. So maybe this is off of the heels of a tower moment or a moon moment where you were in the dark, things weren't very clear, and I don't know if you were patient or if you were forced to be patient with the world moving at a slower pace. But in that patience, in that stillness, your clarity came out. This is very interesting. It's light and nice. Okay, so we're going to probe. I'm very curious to know about this change in perspective. I'm interested to know about the change in perspective. And again, this wasn't at the bottom of the deck. This was the moon moment, but it just made itself known. So maybe you left something behind. It feels like an aspect of yourself. If it is something, it feels like an aspect of yourself has been left behind. And can this be seen? No. Okay. An aspect of yourself has been left behind, and now there's this new beginning that's starting for you. Let's probe and get some more insight. As I say, that Judgment card comes out. Let's probe and get some more insight on what has Aries feeling more peaceful, more zen, more centered. And this is supported even more with Temperance. Like there's this feeling of like a high vibe. A high vibe. I don't know if anyone, and out of this deck, the Hanged One comes out as I ask about it. I don't know if anybody here is focused on ascension, but this feels like that. Like you have ascended to a new level. And now you have to get to know this new level that you've ascended to. And then you get right back in your own energy with the wands, that fiery energy. Again, this card keeps coming out. You know what I just felt? I felt, and as I had felt it, here we have some reluctance. Maybe that the 8 of Cups that keeps popping out is for those Aries that aren't in this space, that are in a seemingly toxic situation, that are fearful to leave. They want something new for themselves, but they don't have the courage to remove themselves from something. That feels like it feels like an urge for you to remove yourself. It feels like an urge to let go or to move on. To move on. That's what I'm feeling. Because it's coming out quite a bit. When the deck of cards is bigger and my hands feel small, like at the same size of the cards, it's hard to shuffle them all together. This is why I have to separate them. Very beautiful cards though. Just quite hard to shuffle for a small hand. Oh, and there you are. Or, yep, there's Aries, the Emperor. Interesting. And then look at that. There's justice, Libra. You and your opposite. Interesting. Okay. So let's start to probe. Let's get into the Hanged Man. The Hanged One. Why is this here? What more can you show us? What more can be shown to us for the highest good of Aries to understand their October a little more? For those that are seeking clarity. We're going to start with the Hanged One. Then we're going to move to the Knave of Wands. And then we'll do Temperance and then the World. I'm highly curious about the Hanged One. I feel like in this shift of perspective, we might get to know what shifted you. Let's see. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Swords. Yep. The energy that came out in, was it this? It doesn't matter. Earlier, as we were shuffling, the 10 fell out, but then the 9 was at the bottom of the deck. So it could be that this is the energy for those that are not letting go, and that 8 of Cups keeps coming out. I think that's for you, because maybe you are in a high-strung energy right now where you're not relaxed. You're feeling anxious. You're feeling at unease. You're feeling uneasy. But let's see. Why is the Hanged One here? The 2 of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the 2 of Pentacles. Ooh. Let's see. I just got an idea for how I can present this. So what I'll do is remove these so that we can probe this and see it. Perfect. This way you can see your story. Okay, so the Hanged One. So I feel this energy of getting carried away. Getting carried away. Where you met someone, double confirmation. This could be in alignment within yourself, the masculine. No, I don't feel that. I don't feel that. That's more of the Lover's energy. This feels like you connected with someone and on an emotional level with the Cups. Maybe one was more emotional than the other. One was more aware of how to express their emotions, more in tune with their emotions, while the other, which I feel is you, was not as fluent in the expression of your emotion. Either way, this gave an opportunity to learn something new. And I feel like what happened and what is needed for the stillness is you got carried away. You have the 1, it turned into 2, but the 2 turned into a balancing act that got you forcefully moving forward into something that's still not completely known by you. I feel like right now at this time, the shift in perspective is you allowing yourself to be in a place where you don't know and to be humbled by it versus to force your way through it. The idea of being a novice, a student comes to mind, and allowing that process to take its course versus forcing it. But it's good to know that there is that energy to get things done and to look to investigate, like to dive deeper, but maybe with more solid ground. So this shift in perspective could be, you in a novice perspective, you in a student perspective, where you are now recognizing that you are humbled, which comes back to this, like there's this humbling feeling. You are humbled. That's what I feel. Okay, so we'll see what adds to this story, but that was, we're gonna put this out of the way for a second. We're gonna look at, I said, the Knave. So what is this fresh start about? The Fool, double fresh. So we had the Page of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands. And now we have the Queen of Wands. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to move this as well. So looking at this story here. The Knave of Wands, or the Page of Wands. This is giving me that same vibe from here, where now it's like showing us more about this story. The the stress that has you tossing and turning internally, like in your gut, queasy kind of feeling, is self-inflicted. It's self-inflicted, and it could be because of that feeling of an ego death. I keep getting an ego death, like the death of your ego and being forced to, or not being forced, but it feels like maybe you feel that way, to start over. A fresh start. A fresh start. To start from scratch, or to start from zero to build. And it maybe wasn't a smooth transition. Kind of got you in your feelings, got you in your head actually. But in your feelings, like she has water beneath her. It's like got you in your feelings and got your mind to turn against you, to have you stressed out to get to the 10. But maybe that's what it took for you to have to actually fully have that ego die. Because your ego is not you. It's just you in the third dimension. And when you realize that you exist beyond the third dimension, it's easier to let go. But maybe at this time when you went through this ego death, you were not aware of that. And it felt very personal, is what I'm feeling here. It felt very personal, like an attack on you. But to know that we saw the 10, when I asked how you're doing, the 10 came out. That's good to know. That's good to know, and it is adding to the story here. So the shift from being in a position of knowing something to having to not know, to having to trust your instincts and go off of the energy of a novice as a student, got you in your mind, got your ego riled up. But from here, we have this smooth transition to you awakening to yourself, like to your, it feels like your higher self, especially if here, with the change in perspective, we have the Knight. This feels like your energy out of this situation. We have the Knight. You very quickly leveled up from a Knight to a Queen, where now you move from a very active action perspective to an internal confidence, knowing that you are going to get, so if this is you going after a goal of, this is the goal right here. So through this connection, you were shown something for you to get to know through this connection. I don't know if it's love, like it feels like a very close tie. It could be a romantic situation, but the vibe that I'm getting for a lot of the readings that I've been doing, the vibe that I'm getting is more of a personal journey. So yes, this highlighted something for you, but it was for you to work on internally. And this is where you have this thing that you're working on. I get this energy where you have a long-term vision for exactly what it is that you want. And there's more confidence in it versus you needing to run and, you know, attack it without, mindlessly attack it. There feels like there's more strategy now, more strategy. So it's like an elevation from this vibe, this vibe of indecision and just going off of whatever to go, to now having some form of strategy that has you feeling confident to wait for whatever it is to come to you. It's like you're attracting it now versus going after it. You're attracting it. You're waiting. It's a very opposite energy, or not very, but it is an opposite energy of waiting and being patient. More indicative of Mars retrograde in Aries, similar to this energy here, where it's like, okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to chill. Versus let's go after it. If I don't go, it's not going to come to me. I have to take initiative. Initiative is being taken in a different way here. So to bring it back to here, let's add to the story. So you were in a more zen, higher perspective. I'm feeling like an ascended energy. And this started with my probing, with the change in perspective. This change in perspective was triggered by a connection that showed you something to focus your attention on. And maybe your previous nature, your default setting had you try to run with it and become an expert before it was time. Before you knew how to crawl, you're trying to learn how to run. And the change in perspective now is that you are learning how to crawl, and you're adjusting to being okay with that. And in this adjustment, it was challenging mentally. It was challenging mentally, but something clicked. And now it's like, okay, I recognize that I'm supposed to be here. This is a new space for me. I'm going to attract what it is that I want. And I'm going to use patience this time. And just, just take a slower approach than you normally would. So this is for the Knave. Let's look at, did I say Temperance and then the World? We'll look at Temperance. So at Temperance, we have the 8 of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles. Ooh, that's nice. Temperance again, and the Page of Wands again. Okay. So here's that fast energy again. This feeling to go, go, go. And I feel like, again, you're being reminded, hey. How about we learn how to balance? And I feel like what you're learning how to balance here is your emotions. The water just became so pronounced to me. And you know what? This connects very, or I need to stop saying very. This connects strongly with the water, with the 2 of Cups. What you're getting to know is something new to you. Something new. Something watery. And maybe something that has you feeling a bit insecure. But again, you're being urged, you cannot use that same energy that you're used to here because you're working with a different element. This is your feelings. So I feel like there's this slowing down, this need again to go and do and collaborate and to get involved. It's a feeling of, because it keeps moving from multiple people to one person. It's like, okay, yes, you can do that. Yes, you can do this. We know. But right now, let's work on this retrograde. Let's work on this retrograde. Let's start reflecting. Let's start reflecting and looking at our emotions. Let's start reflecting and looking at our emotions, and then getting back to the idea that yes, you are a queen. Yes, you are the Queen of Wands, but the idea of humbling yourself again to get back to that start, that fresh start. So yes, you are a queen, but move at your real pace. Take your time. You don't have to rush because we know you're a queen, but let's just take our time. A lot of slowing down. All right, let's look at the World and then combine all of these together. Keep wanting to touch that deck. The World. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Aw. Okay, so here's that connection again. And this is this pentacle. this gift that you were given. And it feels like slow down. The gift is to slow down, be more conscientious, be more meticulous, be more analyzing. Earth energy in comparison to fire energy is different in its speed. This is steady and stubborn and stable, whereas fire energy is impulsive and quick and dynamic, or all energy is dynamic, but it's more steadfast and active. This feels active, but in a slower way, like a slower way. And again, get that energy of, ooh, okay, like it's like an impatience, like I don't know what to do. And again, we're told, have strength, calm down. And this feels, I know that you're not a lion, but again, that energy of go, go, go. It feels like just a moment. Let's collect ourselves. Let's reflect. Let's reflect. Let's reflect. So maybe this person, the Two of Cups, is a person that you knew from childhood. Maybe it's a person from a previous life with the vibes of the Four of Swords, you ascending to a higher level, especially with the World too. It could be something out of this dimension from a previous lifetime is what I wanted to say. Or it could just really be someone coming back. So during this time of October, someone came back from your past, indicative of retrograde energy. We are in two distinctive energies, two distinctive retrogrades that would possibly have your past come back. Yeah, that would have your past come back. And maybe, no, that would have your past come back. I'm thinking more of the Mercury retrograde though. So now in this energy, it's like it comes full circle because it feels like this is what started it. And then again, or you know what? I feel like this is what started it. This is what started it because the World did come first. This is what started it and this is what came out of it. So out of a connection from the past, a connection that felt faded, something that you didn't quite understand, but you felt pulled to, turned into a significant connection that brought a lot of clarity to your mind that maybe you weren't even seeking consciously at the time. And this clarity was for you to slow down and take a slower road in life for you to get to where you want to go. This time from a new perspective, not the way that you usually go about it, but from a place of attraction. That's not it. From a place of confidence, but confidence where you don't have to work so hard. Confidence where you just have to get your mind aligned with what it is that you want so you can pull it towards you using your mental magnetism. Very interesting. I'm trying to mentally think of a way to display all these cards. There isn't one. There isn't one. Yeah, there isn't one. There's a whole lot going on, but in essence, or to just get back to it all, the lesson feels like slow down. Slow down. Slow your mind down. Slow your body down and get connected to your spirit. And that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen. Or that is what's coming. That's the same as what's going to happen. Or you are in this and now you're moving yourself out of it, coming out of that world energy and moving towards this new start or this fresh start in a new space. Propelled by a connection that touched you in your heart space, that maybe got you feeling insecure and topsy-turvy because it was shattering the world that you once knew of yourself. Maybe a reality where you had everything together and now you're realizing that there's some more growing that needs to happen, and that's okay because that is a part of life. And in that growth process, you're urged to slow down and reorient yourself, see things from a different perspective, more reflective, and use this retrograde energy. Mars retrograde in Aries, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio to your advantage Instead of trying to work against the energy with resistance, flow with it. Flow with the new pace. I'm going to leave it here. Aries, it was great connecting with your energy. Thank you. If this is something that you would like to see more of, please don't forget to subscribe, as well as click the like button, just so that I know that this is something that resonated with you. And also, please feel free to comment down below. I would like to, make this a community. This work feels like something that I meant to do. And I'm going against the insecurities that I feel in order to, open myself and express this. So I would love to, connect. It would be great. Again, my name is Gemstone, and I will see you in your November reading. Take care.